Okay, so we are going to discuss the June 2021 IAL further pure maths paper 3. So we'll start with first question. Using the definitions of hyperbolic functions in terms of exponentials, show that 1 minus tan square is equivalent to sec square. Okay, so how do we do this, children? Do you, it's a, what do we call? It's a identity, right? So you have to start with one side and you have to keep working until you get the other side, isn't it? Okay,
Yeah.
so which side do you choose to work with here, children?
1 minus tan square.
1 minus tan square. Okay, so do you remember the equations for tan square? There are formulas that you need to remember, right? Yeah, so what are the equations for the hyperbolic equations? They ask you to use the definitions of the hyperbolic functions.
Yeah,
So
1
what
minus
are the equations for that? Yes,
tan x equal to
tan x is, so they have given here, right? Tan x is the hyperbolic expression is e2x minus 1
minus 1.
over e2x plus 1. So you can use that, right? So you can use that. Let's work with that. Or else you can use this one also, ex minus e minus x over ex plus e minus x. Any one of these two. Okay. So I think which one is easier? Set square is this guy, right? I think to get this guy, to get set square, I hope you guys can see. I think it's easier to use this guy, right? Ex minus e minus x over ex plus e minus x.
Yeah, yeah.
That. So 1 minus, so work with me, children. Tan square is Padala. Ex
minus
ex minus e minus x over
ex
plus c minus x and square it. So let's work with Allah. Squaring this. So square both the functions. Ex minus e minus x square means obviously you multiply the same thing by itself, right? Ex minus ex into ex minus ex. Here ex plus e minus x into ex plus e minus x. So work on it. What happens when you open the bracket here? Ex into ex is e to the power 2x, right? And then ex into e minus x will give you, can you directly say it? Ex into e minus x is, yeah, ex when you multiply by e minus x, shall I just write?
e to the power
minus 1.
E to the power 0. E to the power 0.
Again, ex into e minus x, I mean same base multiplication, powers will
Add.
Powers will add, right? So then this becomes e to the power?
Minus
0.
0. It becomes actually a single answer is e to the power 0. So it's easy to go with that. And then again you have, when you open this, e minus x into ex is again e0, right? Same thing. Okay. And then finally minus into minus is with our plus. E minus x into e minus x is e minus x into e minus x is e to the power
e minus 2x.
E minus 2x, right? Okay. And then at the denominator with our ex into ex is again ex into ex is the power
e2x.
e2x, the powers add. Then ex into e minus x is again e to the
Plus
power
2.
0, right? Yeah, saying directly the answer. Yeah, this guy and this guy again e to the power 0. And this answer finally plus e minus x into e minus x is e minus 2x because you add the powers. Okay, so then we can simplify this a little bit. So what do we get here? 1 minus, so I get here e2x minus e to the power 0 is 1, right? In number to the power of 0 is 1. So e2x minus 1, that's minus 2 plus e minus 2x. Is this okay, children? Do you get this?
Yeah.
Over in the denominator, you get e2x, e to the power 0 is a 1, e to the power 0 is a 1, so that's a plus 2 plus e minus 2x. Okay? So can you, what will be the next ideal step?
To get a common denominator?
To get a common denominator. Okay, so let's get the common denominator. E2x plus 2 plus e minus 2x. So when you get the common denominator here, so you get the same numerator over here, e2x
plus
2 e minus
e to the
2x.
power
So in
minus e to the
you
power
have a
2x.
negative sign. So So you write the minus sign. So you can choose to open the minus sign, but just be careful when you're opening with the minus sign, right? Shall I immediately open to save
Yeah.
time? So e2x minus into minus is plus 2. Minus into plus is a negative e minus 2x. Is that okay with that? Any questions about this?
No.
If you have any question, is this okay with the opening brackets and everything is clear?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ask me if you have anything, and then what do you do? E2x and minus e2x, these two guys will cancel out, right? So what's remaining at the top? Can you add everything and give me? You
The
get
other two cancel out too, right?
these two also cancel out, the positive e minus 2x and the negative e minus 2x, right? So
Plus
these
2
two
plus
also
2,
cancel
4.
out. You end up getting 2 plus 2, that's a 4 over 4 over. You get on the denominator e2x plus
Plus.
2 plus e minus 2x, right? So this is what you get. Okay, now
We
the task
could
is,
even
yeah, brother?
okay. We
Okay.
could even like take 1 over e to the power 2x and
What do you mean, taking this e minus 2x up?
yeah.
You can't take it up, brother, because there's addition here.
No, like we can take a common denominator, ne? Like 1 plus 1 over e to the power 2x and
Okay. 1 over e to the power 2x. Wait. Before you go there, Buddha, before you go anywhere else, just look at what you need to get for your final answer. What's your final answer now? We are solving a identity here. And we need to show what? We need to show our answer is equal to set square x, isn't it? We want to show that our answer is equal to set square. So keep your head in the target. Now, what's the target to get set square? Now, do you know what is set square? Do you remember? So set
yeah.
is
Yeah.
the
1 over cosh.
yeah, 1 over cosh. So you turn this the other side. So sec x is 2 over, isn't it? So now you kind of need to visualize it in your head. So cosh is ex plus e minus x over 2. So sec x is the reciprocal of that. So 2 over ex minus e minus x, right? Plus e, sorry.
Yes.
So it's the other side. So set square means what do you want to see here? You want to see the square around the whole thing, right? So basically you want to see a 4. You want to see a 4 on the top and you want to see a ex plus e minus x square like on the bottom, right? So like this is the ideal answer you want to see for set square. Are you with me?
Yeah.
So what you need to do is you need to take your 1 minus tan square and you need to work your way until you build this expression. So when you look at this expression, so this is what you get for set square. So let's look at what we have got so far. So I think when you look at what we have got, you can see I also have got in my numerator a 4. I have got 4 in my numerator. Can you see? The denominator needs to be ex plus e minus x square. So do you think I have achieved that? When I have 2x plus 2 plus e minus 2x, have I achieved this denominator? What do you think?
Yeah, we could factorize it.
Yeah, so ex plus e minus ex plus e minus x square is actually e2x plus 2 plus e minus 2x, isn't it? I think we got this downward, I think we got this answer. We got this answer by actually expanding ex plus e minus x square, right?
Yeah.
Ex plus e minus x, when we multiplied with itself squaring, we got e2x plus 2 plus e minus 2x, which means what? So I have actually got to show that, right?
Yeah.
This is actually ex plus e minus x square. Do you understand? Which in turn is the set square x. And therefore we have got the answer. We have got to show that. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so let me remove this. Okay, so I'll move on to the next one. Part B, children, solve. So solve the equation 2 sec square x plus 3 tan x equal 3. Okay, so how do you exactly plan on solving? So you have actually two techniques here. One technique is where you write, where you write everything in
Exponential form and
exponential
solve
form.
individually.
Yeah, and you solve individually. Okay, so one method is that. The other method is actually where you use some identities. Okay, where you use some identities in hyperbolic. So you can see we have these certain we have these identities, right? So I think which one is easier? I mean, I think
Using the identities.
yeah, where using the identity is easier in comparison to hyperbolic, because if you are going to get e 2x and it's going to be, I mean, it's possible. There's no issue. You can do with that. I think we'll go with the identity. So we'll work with that. So I'll replace the sec square x with, so we have here, this is in your textbook, right? So I've taken this from the textbook. So sec square x is 1 minus tan square x. Shall we work with it? 2 times, so sec square x is replaced by 1 minus tan square x. Is that okay? Because this is a lot easier to solve. Now you can see we actually end up getting a quadratic equation with tan. We end up getting a quadratic equation, which is a lot easier to work with. Okay, we don't have to do a whole load of simplification here. So then what do we get here? 2 minus 2 tan square x plus 3 tan square, right? Pronunciation, okay. So it's a quadratic. Shall we fix it? I'll take everything to the other side. So this side is a 0. I get here 2 tan square x, negative 3 tan x, and minus is the constant. 3 minus 2, 1, right? Is my answer correct? 2 tan square x plus
Yes.
okay, 2 tan square x minus 3 tan x plus 1. Okay, so does it factorize, or will we have to go, I mean, how does it come in the calc? So you can take your quadratic in your calc mode equation. You can go to number 3, ax square bx plus c. So x square coefficient is 2, x coefficient is negative 3, c is 1. And what do you get for that? I think we can see the first answer we get is 1. We get direct factors, right? So 1
Yeah.
and half. So this is actually, now we are solving for tan x, right? So it's actually what? Not x equal 1, but tan x equal 1, right?
Yeah.
Are you with me? So tan
Yes.
x equals 1. Children, show the simplification, show the methods. So what do you get here? Tan x is equal to 1 means the factor is
Tan x minus 1.
1. The
Tan
other
x minus
factor is
2 tan x minus 1.
2. Tan x equal half. First the 2 comes to the other side. 2 tan x minus 1, the factorization. 2 tan x minus 1. And then you make each bracket equal to 0. So tan x minus 1 equals 0, which gives you tan x equal 1. Or you get here 2 tan x minus 1 equals 0, which gives you tan x equals half. And then children, how do we get the x value? So now you need to get your x value. And your answer should be given also as an exact logarithm. So how do we get about to find the value of our x here? How do we make x the subject?
We can we can take
We
arctan x.
We can use arctan, right?
Arctan.
Yeah, so here we have the formulas already provided. It's already given in your book and you are allowed to use it, right? So x equal, when you take tanh to the other side, it becomes arctan. Arctan 1. So this is x equal arctan half. Okay. So then in here, children, all you got to do is take the arctan x equation, replace the x with 1. Again, in the other equation, arctan x is replaced by half. Can you all understand? So use this formula. I think it's clearly seen, right? Do you see it clearly?
Yes.
Okay. I get the two answers, children. So arctan 1. So replacing x with 1, we get half ln 1 plus 1 over 1 minus 1.
0.
0. Yeah. Yeah, so that's not possible. Arctan half. So you get here, when you put half, you get half ln 1 plus half over 1 minus half. What do you get for that?
3.
3. So this is x equals half ln 3.
Yeah.
It's not possible. So you can't get the answer for this one. There's no possible solution here. Okay, because
Teacher, the last part, are we supposed to change it to ln root 3 because they ask us the answer in the form
so
of
as
an
an
exam?
exact logarithm. Yes. Yeah. So actually, yeah, we'll change it. Yes, you have to change it, giving your answer as an exact logarithm. So exact logarithm, take the half inside. So x equal ln 3 to the power half. You take the half in front, you take it to the front, you take it up as a power. So which means, in other words, x equals to ln root 3. X equal to ln root 3. Even half ln 3 will be accepted. It's fine. Ln root 3 is also fine. All these answers are correct. Okay, so here I think you can see why we can't use the x with x equal 1. You can't use it to this equation, right? So when x equal 1, they have told you not to use the modulus x should be lower than 1. Okay, so x equal 1 figure, we cannot use it in this formula. So you can write here, there are no solutions here. Okay, so this is the end of the first question. Okay, question number 2. A curve has equation y equal root 9 minus x square and x is in the domain between 0 to 3. Using calculus, show that the length of the curve is 3 pi over 2, and they've given you 4 marks for this. So you need to remember the equation they have, you have already learned how to find the arc length of a curve. The formulas are provided in your book. So you can see here I've taken a part of the textbook here. So the length of an arc of a curve between the points A and B is given by, so they have given you 2 formulas. One where you integrate with respect to x, the other one where you integrate with respect to y. So which one do you choose today? Obviously, which one do you choose? The one with respect to x or the one with respect to y? You can see what limits have they given us. They have given us the x limits, right? So they have given x limits between 0 to 3. So therefore, yeah. Therefore, you choose the first one. Now you can see they have given you 3 options here. One, the arc length you can measure. I mean, whichever one you use, it's going to give you the same answer. So these 2 are the parametric equations. Sorry, these 2 are the Cartesian equation, and they have also given a parametric equation to get the arc length. Okay. So in our situation, we have a Cartesian equation. We have x limits. So we'll go with the very first equation. Okay. So arc length. Let's use that. So arc length equal integration xa to xb, which means in our case 0 to 3 root of 1 plus dy by dx whole thing square with respect to x. Okay, so let's work on this. The first thing you need to do here is obviously you have to find the value of your dy by dx. Okay, let's get dy by dx. So y equal root 9 minus x square. So how do you get dy by dx? What's the rule of differentiating? When there is a power, when there is a root, how do you differentiate? First?
We differentiate the power?
First you take care of the power, right? First there is a root.
9 minus
First you take
x
care of
squared
the
to the
power.
power half.
So 9 minus x squared, this is 9 minus x squared to the power half. So first you take care of the power half by taking power half to the front. So half 9 minus x squared to the power
Minus
half
half.
minus 1 is minus half. And then this you multiply with the inside differentiation, right? After you're done with the power, you have to go in. This is P4, right? P4 not, yeah, P4, P3 are part of that integration. Okay, so after that, what's the inside differentiation?
Minus 2x.
Minus 2x. Okay, right. So this is the dy by dx. We can kind of simplify 2 and this I can cancel. So you end up getting here 9 minus x to the power minus half. We can bring it down. So I'm remaining, I get on top my negative x over root 9 minus x square. Is that okay? Dy by dx is negative x remaining on top over root. I brought this down, the negative half becomes positive. So which means it's a square root. Okay, right? So dy by dx is negative x over square root of 9 minus x square. So now what do you do with that? You have to get substitute the value into that equation, the arc length equation. So arc length integration from 0 to 3. The root of 1 plus dy by dx is minus x over root 9 minus x square whole thing square, right? With respect to x, right? So let's get simplifying. First we'll simplify this, right? So how does it simplify?
අපිට මේ
Yeah. So this becomes
1 plus x square
plus x square
over 9 minus x square.
over 9 minus x square. Why? The root removes. The root removes when you're squaring, and the negative also removes. Negative x when you square, it's negative, negative, positive. X square is x square. Squaring of x, and then root removes when you're squaring. Is this okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay, and then what's the next? What would be the next step? We must take the
Common
common
denominator.
denominator, right? So we'll take the common denominator. So what happens when you take the common denominator? We end up getting here is over 1. So you end up getting here 9 minus x square plus x square over common denominator 9 minus x square. Is this okay? So this 9 minus x square comes on top here plus x square over whole thing over 9 minus x square. Okay. So the negative x square cancels off with the positive x square. So you end up getting integration of, what do you get here, Buddha? Root 9 over 9 minus x square.
Minus x square.
Then this actually you can take the root 9
outside.
So it comes as 3 and you get 1 over root 9 minus x square. Okay, so now this requires you all to remember the integration rules. You all know in your F3 book you have a whole set of integration rules, right? Okay, so let me take those rules. Okay, so I have taken the integration rules that they have given you in the F3 formula book. So these are the this is a section of the integration rules that they have provided. So using this, we can go for the integration of 9 minus x square. So Buddha, which rule does it apply to? Can you all see? So if I write here a few rule numbers, can you all see which rule number applies here? Out of the 6 rules, root 9 minus x square, Buddha, which rule applies? Can you all see? 1 over root 9 minus x square, Buddha, most applies to which out of these 6, Buddha? Can you all see? 9 is a constant, right?
මේකට
The
first
The first one. The first one, right? So 9 minus x square. So 9, of course, then in that case, what should be the a value in that situation? So 9, if, you can see they have a square here. So a square should be 9, which means the a figure should be, because you need to write this as a square of the square of a certain number. So 9 is actually the square of 3, right? So you can write here the same sum. So we are using the first rule here. 1 over root of 3 square minus x square. So what happens here? 3 is outside and the integration answer is arc sine x over a, isn't it? So what is the value? Arc sine x over a is 3, right? Arc sine x over a, where a is 3. Are you all okay with that? And then put the plus c because you integrated and there is no limit or anything. Do we have a limit? Sorry. There is a limit, right? The limits are from 0 to 3. So shall we apply the limits, children? What do you get when you apply the limits? Arc sine 0 to 3 times. Arc sine 3 divided by 3. Negative 3 times arc sine 0 over 3. What is the answer, Patala? You are calculating radian mode and you can get the answer. Calculate in radian mode. Arc sine 1, right? So this is 3 times arc sine 3 over 3 is arc sine 1. So you guys should remember it also, or else you can type. So arc sine 1 is pi over 2, right? Is that okay? So this is 3 times pi over 2. What about over here? Arc sine 0. 3 times arc sine 0 is obviously 0, right? So the answer, final answer for this is 3 pi over 2. So 3 pi over 2 is the length of the arc of the curve. Okay, 3 pi over 2 units. Shall I move on to the next part? Okay, then the next part, let me move these things. Okay, so moving on to part B. The curve is rotated through 2 pi radian about the x-axis. Using calculus, find the exact area of the surface generated. Okay, so area. Surface area generated, children, when the curve is rotated through 2 pi radians about the x-axis. So I think I have taken that result as well here, right? The area of the surface generated. So that also they have given to you. They have given to you 3 equations: one with respect to x, one with respect to y, and one. The parametric one is also given, right? Yes. Okay, about the x-axis and parametric. So what will we do? Obviously, we have the equation in the Cartesian form, and I will use the Cartesian form about the x-axis. Shall we? So part B, what's the area, surface area? you get surface area equal. I'm going to use this formula. You guys can see it, right? About the x-axis, I'm using this formula. Y'all are clear with it, right?
Yeah.
So 2 pi integration limits from where to where, Pata? 0 to 3. What is it? Y times root of 1 plus dy by dx whole thing square into dx. Okay, so I think we don't need to go through the pain of, going with the dy by dx square, because we actually got this answer in the earlier question, right? 1 plus root dy by dx square answer was found in part A, isn't it? We got that figure, right? How much was it? Here, children, 1 plus dy by dx whole thing square. That answer we got, we narrowed it down to root of 9 over 9 minus x square. Is that okay?
Oh.
Are you all okay with what I'm talking here today?
Yeah.
Root of 1 plus dy by dx square, the simplification is already done in part A. So we really don't need to waste time. So that answer is directly root of 9 over 9 minus x square. I mean, the simplification answer. Okay, so I'll directly go with that. Okay. So what do we get here? 2 pi times integration from 0 to 3. Y is root of 9 minus x square. Is that okay? Y is root of 9 minus x square into 1 plus dy by dx answer. What was it? Root 9 over 9 minus x square. Am I correct? Children, talk with me.
Oh, hurry.
Okay. Right. So then let's work with this and get the answer. So what is the final answer we get here? I think it simplifies, right?
Yes, the two roots cancel each other out and we can take 3, a constant 3.
This 9 comes out of the root as 3, and the root 9 minus x square, there's a root up and down. So that's actually quite easy then. So what happens? 2 pi, I mean, we end up getting here 6 pi. The 3 comes out, and your integration is simply basically 1. You're integrating 1. Okay, so 6 pi integration of 1 is 1 with respect to x is x. So you put your limits from 0 to 3, and you end up getting 6 pi times 3 minus 0, which is how much? 18 pi. So 18 pi is the exact area of the surface area that you generate. Okay. Okay, so moving on to question number 3. M equals, so they have given you for M a 3 by 3 matrix, and in this matrix we can see there are 2 unknowns, and they say here the unknown P is a real constant. Okay, find the exact values of P for which M has no inverse. Okay, so you have to find the values of P for which M has no inverse. So what do we do? First of all, what's the rule that needs to what should happen for there to be no inverse? So this is actually F1, right? If there is no inverse matrix, there is no. Can you all remember the determinant of the matrix should be
equal to 0.
Equal to 0. If your determinant is 0, it means there is no inverse matrix. If your determinant is 0, it's a singular matrix, right? It's a singular. Yeah.
Singular matrix.
Yeah, it's a singular matrix, and for a singular matrix, there is no inverse, because when you're trying to find the inverse matrix, you write 1 over determinant, and when your determinant is 0, you write 1 over 0, and therefore it doesn't exist. Okay, so all you got to do here is to find the exact values of P for which M has no inverse. Simply do what? You have to simplify the determinant and make it equal to 0. Okay, let's get the determinant. So let's put here the normal way I do is I first use the plus minus plus signs on top. Is that the way that you all do? How do you do this? And then you write here first 3 times, right? 3 times, and then you remove the row and the column with 3, right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
And then you write the matrix that is remaining, and you get here 1p 2 2. And the next thing you have is you have to get the next value at the top. The next figure at the top is 1, so it's a negative 1. So we write here negative 1, and you remove the row and column with 1, and you are remaining with 1 minus 1 2 2. The last one, you are taking the positive p, right? So positive p, and you get here when you remove the row and column, you get 1 minus 1 1p. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So then what do you get here, Buddha? With the matrix of the 2 by 2 of this 2 by 2 matrix, what do you
2
get here?
minus 2p.
2 minus 2p, the determinant. Yes, minus 1 times
2
1
minus minus 2. 2 plus 2.
minus 2, yes. And p times 1 into p is p minus
Minus 1.
minus 1. So you get here 6 minus 6p minus 2. This minus minus is a plus. Plus into minus is again minus 2. Okay, I could have simplified inside, right? Okay, anyway. And then I get here p into p is p square, minus minus is plus. So I get here plus 1 into p is plus p. Is that okay, children? So this is the det term, determinant of m, right? I'm trying to find the determinant. Okay, so what happens? Can you all simplify it? It becomes p square minus 6p plus 1p is minus 5p, right?
Plus 2.
And then 6 minus 2 is, 6 minus 2 minus 2 is 6 minus 4 plus 2. So p square minus 5p plus 2. Okay. So now to make sure that the m inverse does not exist, you make your determinant equal to 0, meaning you make it a singular matrix. Okay. So solve the quadratic equation, children. Does it have proper factors or does it give you
We get exact values. We'll have to use the quadratic formula.
okay, so quadratic formula, or you could complete the square, anything. So p is minus b plus or minus square root b square minus 4ac divided by 2 times a is 1. Is that okay? You just show
Yes.
your working and that's it. And then you type in the cal 3. So I'm going to use the shortcut here. A is 1, b is minus 5, c is 2. So what do you get here? You get 5 plus root 17 over 2 for the positive answer and 5 minus root 17 over 2 for the negative answer. Is that okay? 5 plus root 17 over 2 is one possible value of p. The other possible value, p equal 5 minus root 17 over 2. Is that okay? So find the exact values of p which for which m has no inverse. So these are the two exact p values. So for these two exact p values, there is no m inverse. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So let's go to part B. So let's move on to part B. So they are saying in part B, find given that m does have an inverse. Given that m does have an inverse, find m inverse in terms of p. Okay, so we need to now actually you can see it's 5 marks. So you need to actually construct your m inverse. Like you already have around I think 5 to 6 steps to do to convert the m to m inverse, right? So the very first step in converting m to m inverse is the very first step is to actually obtain the determinant. So determinant actually we have got it in terms of p. So determinant of m we found it as p square minus 5p plus 2, right? That's the very first step. So in your textbook you have the you have 6 steps that they have mentioned in page 147. Okay, in page 147 in your F3 textbook they mentioned the 6 steps of obtaining the inverse matrix. The first step is to obtain is to get the determinant, which we have found in part A. Next step is you have to get the matrix of minus. So help me to get the matrix of minus, Buddha. So matrix of minus, how does it work? So this is a little bit of a tedious process, right? I think the most tedious process is the matrix of minus. What do you do? So you remove the, you take each element and you remove the row and the column containing that element and write the remaining element. I mean, you get the determinant of the remaining matrix, isn't it? Are you all okay with it? 1p, 2, 2. So this is the first element. Do you agree? When you remove the element 3, you get 1p, 2, 2. So you write that. Okay? Is that okay with that?
Yeah.
Next thing you do is you remove the row and column with this 1. So you remove the row and column with 1 and you end up getting 1 minus 1, 2, 2. The next one is you remove the row and column with p. So that is 1 minus 1, 1p. And then the next one, Buddha, you remove the row and column with this 1. And then you get 1p, p2. Is that okay?
Yeah.
The next one, so it's very, as I told you, it's tedious, this guy. So you remove the row and column with that. the middle number. So you get 3 minus 1 P2. The next one, you remove the row and column with this 2. So that is 3 minus 1, 1P. Just check and let me know if there are any errors. Okay, so this one I take this. So I remove this. What do I get? 1, 1, P2. Right? And the next one I remove this guy. So I get here 3, 1, P2. And the last one, Buddha, I remove the row and column and I get 3, 1, 1, 1. Okay, right? So this is the matrix of minus. Okay, this is the matrix of minus. Yeah, Buddha?
M transpose have done one.
Wait, that is, we do it at the end. First, we'll get the matrix of minus. And then also I'll apply the alternating rule of alternating signs in here immediately. Is that okay?
Yeah, plus
So
minus.
plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus. So I also gave the rule of alternating signs here itself. Okay. So let's get the matrix of minus. So this actually forms the matrix of cofactors. When you apply the plus minus, it becomes the matrix of cofactors anyway. So let's get the answer here. What happens? The matrix of cofactors. So we write as C. What do you get here?
2 minus 2p
2 minus 2p. plus
minus
2.
4.
Yeah. So this is 2 minus 2, right? 2 minus 2, that is 2 plus 2, that's 4. Okay. And that becomes minus 4. Then here with the
p plus 1.
p plus 1. Okay. Here negative sign
p
is there.
square minus 2.
Okay, you have applied. I will write it like this first. 2 minus p square. 2 minus p square, and when the minus mark applies in, it's p square minus 2. Okay. And this one, 3 times 2, 6 minus p, right?
Yes.
Okay, 6 minus p, that is 6 plus p. And the next one, negative sign in front, 3p minus
Plus 1.
minus 1. So 3p plus 1. And this one, 2 minus p, and this one negative sign from 3 times 2 6 minus 1 into p is p. Here positive, 3 times 1 is 3 minus 1. Is that okay? So this is the matrix of cofactors. And then okay, and then what do? You have to get the transpose matrix, right? Get your transpose matrix. I think before the transpose matrix, shall I simplify this a little bit further? So I think, Ravin, you were saying we'll simplify the answer. So I just wrote because I felt that people might not be able to understand immediately if I wrote. This one you said minus 2 plus p square. So I'm kind of like opening the brackets now and giving people in their simplest forms. Okay. 2 minus p. This is minus 6 plus p. Can you see? 3 minus 1 is 2. So I kind of open the brackets with the minus signs, put everything in, and I got this answer. Next thing is that you get the matrix of cofactors. Sorry, matrix of cofactors. So how do you get that? You turn the whole thing. You take the transpose of the whole thing, which means you interchange the rows and the columns. Tell me, Putha, what do you get when you interchange rows and columns? The row becomes the column. Is that okay? So 2 minus 2p, next one minus 4. This row becomes the column. Minus 4 comes down, and then p plus 1 comes down. Are you okay with that? The first row becomes the first column. The second row becomes the second column. Agreed? Minus 2 plus p square, 6 plus p, minus 3p minus 1. Okay? And then the last one, the third row becomes the third column. So 2 minus p minus 6 plus p and 2. So this is a matrix of cofactors. Are you all okay with this, children? Did you get the same answer? Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the last step, you get the inverse. So how do you get the M inverse? M inverse is 1 over determinant M times the matrix of the cofactors. Okay, so M inverse equals 1 over determinant M is, determinant of M is, we got it right, p square minus 5p plus 2. P square minus 5p plus 2 times 2 minus 2p minus 4 p plus 1 minus 2 plus p square, 6 plus p, minus 3p minus 1, 2 minus p, minus 6 plus p, 2. Right, so this is the m inverse in terms of p. So find m inverse in terms of p. So this is the answer. Okay. Okay, so fx equal x arc cos x. This is question number 4. Fx equal x arc cos x, and they've given you the x limits. Find the exact value of f dash 0.5. So f dash in the sense you need to differentiate, right? So you need to differentiate. So I have taken the formula section from the F3 formula book. So this is the differentiation section. So arc cos x differentiation is given here. So actually you can see you have x arc cos x, which means that we have to use which rule? Can I like immediately differentiate it as it is? Yeah. How can I differentiate? What should I use here? What's the approach that I need to use?
The product rule.
The product rule, right? Because there is a product here. So one person stays, the other person differentiates. So you write here keeping x, keep x, while arc cos x differentiates to give you negative 1 over root 1 minus x square, right?
Yeah.
And then plus, now you keep arc cos x waiting. So now arc cos x waits, while x differentiates to give you 1. Okay, while x differentiates to give you 1. So this is your f dash x. They have actually told you to find f dash 0.5. So replace x with 0.5 and get me the answer, children. Replace x with, find the exact value. So you have to get the exact value. Negative x over root 1 minus 0.5 square plus arc cos 0.5. Can you all replace it over here, Budala? What do you get? So I get
Then 0
minus 0.5 over root 1 minus 0.5 square. This part gives me negative root 3 over 3. Is that okay? Are you all getting that? Negative root 3 over 3.
yeah.
And then arc cos half.
Arc
Then
cos half is
arc cos half.
pi over 3 ne?
Pi over 3. Arc cos half is pi over 3. So that's it, the exact answer. This is your exact answer. Find the exact value. Okay, so minus root 3 over 3 plus pi over 3. You could write the whole thing as a common denominator also. Negative root 3 plus pi over 3. So this would be the more simplified answer. Okay, so that's done. Roman number 1. Roman number 2. Gx equals arctan e to the power 2x. Show that g double dash x is k such 2x tan 2x, where k is a constant to be found. So g double dash means you differentiate twice, right? You differentiate twice. Let's differentiate gx twice. Gx equals arctan e to the power of 2x. Okay, so how does this work, children? So when you have this fx inside, do you remember the rule? So whenever there is some kind of a function of x inside, you first carry out the main function differentiation, and then at the end you also have to multiply with the differentiation of this inside person, isn't it? Okay. So actually I could write the arctan equation as arctan fx. So actually this is the way I normally write arctan x. I write as arctan fx is 1 over 1 plus fx square. Okay, so arctan x, the differentiation is 1 over 1 plus x square. So arctan fx is 1 over 1 plus fx square, and then additionally, when you differentiate, you also have to differentiate, you have to multiply with the f dash x. The differentiation of whatever the function of x you have inside. Okay? You all are familiar with this rule, right? Are you?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so what happens with the arctan e2x? What happens when you differentiate? So let's apply the rule. Arctan fx is 1 over 1 plus e to the power 2x whole thing square. Do you agree? 1
Yeah.
over 1 plus e to the power 2x whole thing square, and then that into you have to differentiate e2x. So you multiply with the f dash x on top. So e2x differentiation is 2e2x. So you agree with this? Any questions you want to ask about regarding this, Patala? This is okay, 2e 2x over? Yeah, Rami? What do you think about this?
Is correct?
Okay, is this okay? Are you familiar with this particular rule?
Yes.
Instead of x, we use fx, and then you can just, you apply the same rule, but at the end, you have to multiply with f dash x. The differentiation of your x, you need to multiply with the differentiation of this x, whatever the function of x you have. Okay. So that is g dash x actually. So we found g dash x. They ask us to differentiate twice, and also I think we can see there is some there is a little bit of when you look at the show that consists of sec and tan. It doesn't have e to the power 2x. Can you all see? It doesn't have it doesn't have exponentials. So it's all given in terms of hyperbolic functions. Okay, so I need to kind of convert. So can you all tell me how I can convert this guy? Okay, so I need to convert it to sec 2x tan 2x. Okay, how do we do that? Shall we first differentiate this and get g double dash x and do, or else I think
Can't we get g dash x in terms of a trigonometric
yes,
function?
yes, we can. So I think what we can do is you need to go through these, yeah. So in terms of what can we get it? Yeah, so
In
you
terms
need
of sec check?
in
H2
terms of set checks. Okay, so how do you make it to set checks?
divide both top and bottom by e minus 2x.
Okay, so that requires a certain level of thinking, isn't it? So set checks. Yeah, set checks is set 2x. We are trying to, I think we will get set 2x, isn't it? Yeah. Set 2x. Okay, so this requires a little bit of thinking. So as you said, what you're saying is correct. With you divide up and down by e to the power 2x. So can you give me an explanation of why you decided to go with that?
Get it in terms of the set checks formula.
Because now you can see the show that has sec 2x and tan 2x. Okay, and then obviously when your g dash x is in terms of this e2x, it's better that if you can to try to get the hyperbolic function in here as soon as possible, so that we can get the second differentiation. It's a lot easier to get the second differentiation. Okay, so then sec 2x. So as you can see here, children, sec x is 2 over ex plus e minus x. So then sec 2x should be 2 over e2x plus e minus 2x, isn't it? Sec x is this, so sec 2x is e2x plus e minus 2x, 2 over. Okay, so then so what we need to do here is simply, as you said, we divide up and down by e2x. So I end up getting 2 over, so this is 1 divided by e2x plus e4x divided by e2x. Is that okay with that? I divided both up and down. Up, of course, e2x cancel. That's why 2 is remaining. Okay. So then what do you get here now? 2 over 1 over e2x is e negative 2x. This is e4x over e2x is, when you subtract the powers, you get e2x. Do you agree with that? Which is directly, as you can see, your gx is directly converted and it can be written as sec 2x. Is that okay? So g dash x is immediately written as sec 2x. Okay. So now we are ready to go for our second differentiation. So let's differentiate it once more, the second derivative. So g double dash x. What happens when you differentiate sec 2x? So sec differentiation. So I think it's unfortunately not there over here, right? So you need to, I think, remember it, right? So sec 2x differentiation is, children, what is it?
Sec 2x into tan 2x.
Sec 2x into tan 2x, isn't there a negative sign involved? Sec 2 in page number 47 of your F3 book. In page 47 of your F3 book, it shows d by dx of sec x. D by dx of sec x is given in the F3 book as negative tan x sec x. So there's a negative sign involved. Okay. So you have to remember the formula. So it's given sec x differentiation is negative tan x sec x. So therefore sec 2x, there's an extra 2 here. So you have to apply that rule again. So sec 2x will be, so when you have 2x here, it will be negative tanh 2x, sec 2x, and further you have to differentiate the 2x also. Are you with me? Negative sec 2, negative tanh 2x. It's a product, of course, it's fine. So tanh 2x, sec 2x, and then because you have a 2x, when you differentiate after you're done with the trigonometric part, you also have to differentiate the 2x, which gives you a 2. Is that okay? So generally, I could write the differentiation of dy dx of sec fx is negative tanh fx into sec fx times f dash x. Okay, Patala? Are you all okay with this? So this is the answer. I think that is the show that, right? So the k value, they're asking you the k, for the k figure. So k is -2. Is that okay? So your k figure is -2. Okay? Okay, so moving on to question number 5. So this is the famous reduction formula question in F3, right? So in every paper, you get a reduction formula question. So this is the reduction formula question in the 2021 paper, June paper. Okay, so they have given you the IN is integration of sec x to the power n. So they are asking you to prove that for n value is greater than or equal to, that you get, you need to prove this, show that. So it's a 6 mark, show that. So normally when it comes to these reduction formulas, children, what we do is we have the habit of actually breaking whatever they give us. They give you, when they give you a trigonometric function, normally the way we proceed is we break it. So we break it in a way so that we can actually apply parts by integration. Okay, so we are going to apply parts by integration when we split this. So there are many ways of splitting. I mean, you can break this, you can break this with, how do you say? We can break this with the power of 1. Right? Or you can break it with sec square. You can break it with just sec x. So you have to break it in the most advantageous way to you. So how do you think I should break this? So should I break it as sec to the power n minus 1 x into sec x? Is this good, or shall I break it as sec n minus 2x into sec square x? What do you think? Which one do you think is more easier? It is easier for us.
The second one?
The second one. Why? Because
use the substitution for sec square x?
We can use the integration of sec square, right? Because end of the day we are going to apply integration by parts. One person will be chosen, one person is chosen to differentiate, the other person chosen to integrate. So definitely we can integrate the sec square so easily. So here you have a problem and you just have sec x. Okay, so what I'll do here is I'll go with the second one. So I'll break this as sec to the power n minus 2 times x times sec square x dx. So children, you need to remember the integration by parts rule, integration of uv. Okay, so integration of uv dash, isn't it? Parts by integration rule in P4. This is equal to uv minus integration vu dash. Vu dash. So this is the parts by integration rule they have given you in the P4 book. So what happens here, children? You have to choose who is your v. You have to choose who is going to be your u. You have to choose who is going to be your v dash. Okay, so as I told you a moment ago, sec square can easily be integrated. Sec square can easily be integrated. Therefore, sec square will be my v dash. Are you okay with it? And sec to the power n minus 2, this n minus 2x, this will be my u. So shall we fix this? So let's differentiate. Let's get the u dash so that I have everything ready and I just need to substitute. So if u is sec to the power n minus 2x, can you all tell me what is u dash? What is u dash? So u dash is when you differentiate this. So when you differentiate sec to the power n minus 2x, what's the normal procedure of differentiating?
You start with the power.
Start with the power. You bring the power front, right? So this is actually sec x to the power n minus 2, right? So you start with the power. So n minus 2 comes forward. Sec x to the power
n minus 3.
2, n minus 2 minus 1, n minus 3, okay, into sec
We
x
differentiate sec x,
yeah, differentiation of
sec x tan x.
is sec x tan x. So let's kind of simplify our u dash, and I end up getting here n minus 2. Yeah, Buddha. So I think we can see we have a multiplication of two sec functions again, right? So sec n minus 3 into another sec x gives you
N minus 2.
sec x to the power n minus 2. Sec n minus 2. It's all right in the middle. You can write outside as a power, or you can write in the middle here. Sec to the power of n minus 2. Sec x to the power n minus 2, and you have here tan x. So this is the simplified format for u dash. And then similarly, you also need to get your v dash. So v dash is sec square x. So v dash to v. V dash to v, simply you integrate. So integrating sec square gives you tan x. Do you agree? Integrating sec square gives you tan x. Okay, now we are ready. So let's apply it into our parts by integration formula. So in equal, so I'm going to replace in equal uv minus integration v u dash. Okay, so substitute the values for the u is sec n minus 2x into v is tan x. Are you okay with it, Pudha? I'm substituting the u value from here, v value from here, minus v is tan x into u dash is n minus 2 sec to the power n minus 2x tan x dx. Is that okay with that?
Yes.
Yes. So let's try to get this part. We're trying to get the show that here. Tan x sec n minus 2. I think we have got already the first part of our show that, right? Tan x with the sec to the power n minus 2x. So we've already got the first part, as you can see. Okay. Sec to the power n minus 2x into tan x. And then we can take the constant out, children. So minus n minus 2 comes out. And you end up getting here a tan square x with a sec n minus 2x. Is this okay? Is this okay, Buddha?
Yes.
Simplification, are you all okay? The tan x becomes tan square, and this is sec to the power n minus 2x. Are you guys okay with this? Talk with me. If there is an issue, you should speak out. Yeah?
Yes, that's fine.
Yeah. Then Buddha, can you tell me how I can proceed from here? Now, the
We should substitute tan square in the terms of sec square.
Okay, so why do you think that you need to go in that path? Now you're trying to get your show that, right? You're trying to get the show that you want to get in minus 2. So in minus 2 is in is sec to the power, integration of sec to the power of nx. So in minus 2 is sec to the power of n minus 2, right? So you need to create a sec to the power n minus 2x within the integral sign. So yeah, so as you said, Pudha, the tan square. What are you going to replace? You have the formula in P2, 1 plus tan square x is sec square, right? Yeah, so you replace tan square with sec square x minus 1.
Minus
Okay.
1.
So what do you get here? In equal sec n minus 2x tan x minus n minus 2 times. Yavada, you replace your tan square with sec square x minus 1. Okay. And then Pudha, what do you get here? In equal, this is sec n minus 2x tan x. So be careful here when you open up. You are obviously going to open your bracket here, right? You're obviously going to open your bracket. So I think I recommend you to take the negative n minus 2 also, the integration sign also, and let's open. Shall we open immediately? Everything at once. Can you all handle? Negative n minus 2 integration sign. You multiply the sec square with sec n minus 2. What do you get to the sec square when you multiply with sec n minus 2x? What happens? The powers add,
Sec
right?
nx.
Sec nx. So that's the first one. And then Pudha, remember when you're opening the other guy, the minus 1 here, this negative n minus 2 integration mark applies to that person also. Okay, so then when you're opening the bracket, this guy opens with the sec square also. Negative n minus 2 integral sign also applies to the other guy. So negative n minus 2 integral sign, negative n minus 2 integral sign, and you and you multiply minus 1 with sec to the power n minus 2x. Is that okay, Buddha? And then actually what I can do is this minus mark, I can take it I can take it forward here and it can become a plus immediately, right? Do you agree? The minus mark can be removed and we can make it a plus. This minus sign, we can bring it forward for this term. Is that okay, Buddha?
Yes.
Okay, so now I think we are almost done. Then the integration, we know in is integration of sec to the power nx. So I think you can see we have integration of sec to the power nx coming over here, right, with the integral sign, which means this guy should be what, Buddha? Integral
In.
This is in. And here again you have inside the integral sign integration of sec n minus 2. So if you have sec n minus 2 here under the integral sign, then that means it is
In minus 2.
in minus 2. So in minus 2. So then I just need to make in the subject here. So in, I'll bring the terms with in to one side. In plus the negative n minus 2 comes as, this negative sign becomes positive. N minus 2 remains as it is. And this is in, isn't it? And you get here sec n minus 2x tan x. And here you have plus n minus 2 times n minus 2. Okay, Buddha? And then when you take in out, you get here 1 plus n minus 2. Is that okay? And then Buddha, what's the answer? In, when you make, I think in the show that they have kept the bracket here with n minus 1, right? Yes. So n minus 1 in tan x sec n minus 2x, n minus 2 in minus 2. So which is exactly what we are getting, right?
Yes.
So this is our show that. This is our show that. Agreed? Then anything here you want to ask, please ask. Okay. And then the next one. The next one is where you use your reduction formula to actually, reduce and, find the integration. So here they are asking you to get the integration of sec to the power of 6x. So how do we get this, Buddha? By using our reduction formula. Of course, if you go to integrate this manually, it's going to be really difficult. So we are going to use the help of our reduction formula. How does the reduction formula help you here, Buddha? Sec to the power 6x means what, Buddha?
I6.
I6. Sec to the power 6x is I6. So what we need to do here is first I think we need to make in the subject here. Okay, so let's make in the subject. In is tan x sec n minus 2x over n minus 1 plus n minus 2 over n minus 1 times in minus 2. This is what happens when you make in the subject, right? Okay, so then Buddha, what do we do? You have to get I6. Okay, so I6, what do you get here? I think actually over here we could use the limit, right? Is it easier to use the limit at the very beginning or at the very end?
We could use the limits along the way. For the first part.
Okay, the limits are from 0 to pi over 4. Anyway, it's fine. I think it might be confusing. Okay, well, let's go like this, will you? So we'll get the answer for I6 first. So tan x sec to the power 6 minus 2 is sec to the power 4x over 6 minus 1 is 5. Agree? 6 minus 1 is how much? 6 minus 1 is 4. 6 minus 1 is 5. I4, right? Do you agree, children? Do you agree? So next thing is to get I4. So to get I4, you again go to this equation, replace the in with 4. Okay, so refer back to this equation, replace n with 4. And what do you get? You get tan x sec to the power of 4 minus 2 is, that is sec square x. 4 minus 1 is 3. So here 4 minus 2 is 2. 4 minus 1 is 3. 4 minus 2 is 2, right? And then finally, Buddha, So actually you get I2. I think I2 is pretty much okay, right? If you look at I2 integration of, I mean, you could go and get until I0. Normally when it comes to the reduction formula, we have a habit of going until maybe I1 or I0, isn't it? Are you with me? So actually in this case, I think we can stop at I2. Why is that? Because I2 is the integration of sec square, right? Integration of sec square is something that we know, right? Isn't it, Buddha? Integration of sec square is simply tan x, isn't it?
Yes.
So I think we can stop at I2. Because I2 is directly, we don't need to go for the, we don't need to go into our formula. I mean, we can write I2 is integration sec square x, n is 2. So integration of sec square is simply tan x. It's simply tan x. I'm not going to put the plus c because I'm going to put the limits at the end. So shall we input these things back? So I2 is, so I2 is tan x, which means I4 is tan x sec square x over 3 plus 2 over 3. I2 is tan x. You agree with that? And then the I4 value you can put over here. So then you can get I4, we have found, so I6. Okay. So this I4 answer, I can put it over here and then get I6. Is that okay? Is this the method that you all are using, or do you use another method?
That's the method.
Another method means you were using the limits from the very beginning. Here.
No, that's the method I was using.
Using this method. Tan x set to the power 4x over 5 plus 4 over 5 times I4. 4 over 5 times I4. So I4 is the answer we got here. Tan x sec square x over 3 plus 2 over 3 tan x. Okay, but and then the thing is you have to give your limits now. From where to where? The whole thing, the limits are from 0 to pi over 4. So you have to give your limits also, and they want the exact value was. They say they want the exact value. Okay, so shall we put the limits? I6. So what are the answers? This is 1 over 5 tan pi over 4 sec to the power 4 pi over 4 plus 4 over, I'll open the bracket, 4, 5 times 3 is 15. Okay, 4 into 4, 5 times 3, 15. This is tan pi over 4 sec square pi over 4. Multiply 4 over 5 with 2 over 3 here, that is 8. 5 times 3, 15. Tan pi over 4, replacing x with pi over 4. So this is the first one. Compulsory minus in the middle. And then you put the second limit, right? Are you okay with it? 1 over 5 tan 0 sec to the power 4 0 plus 4 over 15 tan 0 sec square 0 plus 4 times 2 8, 5 times 3 15 tan 0. Okay, Buddha?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what is the answer? The first one, I think we'll type one by one. Everything in the cal will be, but it's also tan pi over 4. Of course, we know it's 1. Tan pi over 4 is 1. And then into sec, of course, sec is given as 1 over, right? You can't type sec, so 1 over cos pi over 4. 1 over cos pi over 4. So this should be, okay, so cos pi over 1 over cos pi over 4 to the power 4. Is that okay with that? The way I'm typing in the calendar, you get it 1 over 5 tan pi over 4 plus 1 over cos pi over 4 to the power 4, which gives me a simple answer as 4 over 5, very simply. Okay.
Yeah.
I6 starting with, how much was it? I6 started with 4 over 5. Then put on the next one, the second part, 4 over 15. 4 over 15 tan pi over 4. 4 over 15 tan pi over 4 into sec square. So you can't type sec square, you type 1 over cos square.
Yeah.
So cos, you type pi over 4 So you give the cos square like this. Can you see? And you all see the way type 4 over 15 tan pi over 4 into sec square is 1 over cos pi over 4. That also around the whole thing I put a square. And that gives me the answer plus 8 over 15. Okay. And the last one, 8 over 15. 8 over 15 tan pi over 4. Of course, we know tan pi over 4 is 1, which means it should be simply 8 over 15. Right? Tan pi over 4 is 1. And I think the other one, we don't need to work with it, right? Why? Tan 0 is, so that tan 0 is 0, right? So all of these are becoming zeros because tan 0 is 0. So I only need to work with these three guys. How much is the answer? 4 over 5 plus 8 over 15 plus 8 over 15, which gives me 28 over 15. Is this the answer you got for I6?
Yes.
Yeah, teacher. I also got the same.
No, 28 over 16. Okay, it's the time, it's the time that really goes here. So you need to manage your time here, okay? Right, so let's move to the next one.